Hi, I'm Jamie, and using John Holland's vocational typology, I would say that my main vocational preferences are social, enterprising, and investigative. I believe that my personality matches the social vocational preference the most. This is mainly due to the fact that I love working with and around people, no matter what job it is. People close to me would say that once you get to know me, I don't stop talking. And although very true, this is mainly due to the fact that I love talking as a way to communicate with others as well as problem solving. Outside of the lockdown, I work as a bartender for Mexico Ellerslie, and this helps me be confident in saying that this would be my main vocational preference. This is due to the fact that being a bartender requires a lot of skills that are common with the social vocational preference. In coherence with the social vocational preference is the enterprising preference, which relates to a more influential/leadership role when around people. I see this aspect the most in myself when put into group scenarios, such as the one in Management 2 to 3, where I do have to voice out my opinions and take more of a leadership role when needed. This vocational preference could see me work jobs as a lawyer, insurance manager, or a principal. Lastly, I would say that I do showcase a lot of traits related to the investigative vocational preference. This is mainly due to a heavy focus on education growing up. This heavy focus on education has really allowed me to develop and gain my analytical and problem-solving skills, which is something that is very prevalent in the investigative vocational preference. This vocational preference could see me work jobs such as a scientist or a programmer.
Hi, my name is Nicole, and within Holland's framework, my vocational preferences are investigative, social, and enterprising. I think I identify with the investigative vocational preference because I definitely like to research and problem solve. I have a very logical brain that likes to compartmentalize things, to fully understand processes, and to really think deeply and analytically about issues. My family has often noted that I have a very black and white objective approach to reasoning, and I've noticed that too, especially with my current job as a senior cashier at Rainbow's End. Part of my job is, at the end of the day, to balance up all the money that comes in and out of the park. And whenever there are discrepancies, I go through this methodical problem-solving approach to figure out what went wrong. So in this way, I think I show the investigative traits. However, I am also an empathetic people person who views problems in a social context and loves to help others, so I also identify with the social vocational preference. This is evidenced by how I love to form study groups where I help teach and inform others about content, not only because that's how I learn, but also I really get a kick out of helping others. Also in my current job, I've had the opportunity to teach and train up new staff, which I've really enjoyed. And obviously working in customer service in the tourism industry, I've gained a lot of people skills from that as well. I think this social vocational preference fits in really well with my chosen career path as a lawyer or legal professional because it's a very people-orientated industry. I will have many co-workers. I'll be dealing with problems that at the core are about people, and ultimately my job will be about serving others. Finally, I also hold the enterprising vocational preference as I really like to positively influence and encourage others. Even though I consider myself more of an introvert, in tutorials or group projects I often find myself voicing my opinions, facilitating discussions, or planning out the courses of action in a project. This enterprising preference fits in again really well with my chosen career path, where a core part of my work will be solving problems and directing clients within social influence terms.
The realistic trait shown through people who like to physically create with their hands, putting plans into action rather than pondering. This can often demonstrate a tendency towards engaging in vocational choices that convey these traits literally. I have experience in the trades field, particularly in carpentry, which I enjoyed as it gave me satisfaction to create something from nothing. I do believe this trait can be extended outside the realm of physical trades for what it's shoehorned into, and I believe that the aspect of problem solving and creating solutions from problems can be transferred into multiple vocational aspects. The investigative trait provides a counterbalance to this. It incorporates an emphasis on the planning stage, looking to inquire and ask questions of problems before diving into them. Problem solving and rejection of norms is something that I would find myself doing regularly. This is evident in my tendency to dwell on difficult problems, trying to solve them, and if I can't, then I become frustrated until some form of compromise was reached. Vocationally, this is advertising. How do you make a product stand out? Or at the very least, make a piece of work that sticks in the consumer's mind? The experimental aspect of this also shines through as you recognise what has worked before and potentially rework it for relevancy. The enterprising trait is displayed through the enjoyment of meeting people, influencing others, and working in business. I particularly relate to this trait as it aligns with my extroverted nature. For evidence of how this relates, I've worked in offices previously in which such people displayed this trait, and I found myself slowly assimilating with them. I was always keen to find out what they had on and if there's anything I could do to help, despite the office hierarchy. The advertising industry in particular has recognised the fast-moving innovation of the world and desires people who seek to understand it, and it's becoming a valuable trait. Those who enjoy person-to-person interaction is becoming a rarity, as digital communication grows as a medium for people to interact further.
So I myself am a very social and conventional type of person. Social individuals are generally very empathetic, have great interpersonal skills, are very agreeable and extroverted, and they enjoy helping others and working in a facilitative way. So things that they like doing are obviously treating and healing individuals, helping people, even teaching others. They just generally have a concern for the welfare of other people. A conventional person, on the other hand, is very organized and has a lot of attention to detail. They generally don't question authority and have an overall concern for orderliness and routines. So the reason I find that I'm a social individual is because I always have a lot of concern for other people. My friends would always say that I'm the mom of the group, so whenever we go anywhere, I'm always the one taking care of others. And my family as well always say that I put others above myself. The reason I believe that I'm conventional is because I'm quite a stickler for rules, so I don't like going against them, and I'm also very organized because I enjoy staying on top of things that I need to do. And also my family always says that I generally don't go against rules because I don't like getting in trouble.
One of the driving forces behind vocational indecision at a tertiary level is due to the lack of information behind the potential opportunities that await students upon graduation. Often we are told what could happen going into our degree, but get lost along the way as communication wanes. Introducing industry workshops in which leaders of particular industry fields come and explain their pathway and their own characteristics, which may relate to some students, would be incredibly beneficial. A study done by a research institute looked into this to see if tangible benefits could be gleaned from the impact of workshops and found overwhelmingly positive results. In particular, it was noted that the relevancy of the knowledge that these workshops provided was crucial, as the information was coming from the forefront of the industry development, avoiding the time lags that can occasionally occur in taught information. It allowed students to gain hands-on experience and encourage thinking as opposed to rote learning. Introducing these workshops will provide a much clearer picture for students going forward about what they want to do and mitigating some of the uncertainty that students face upon graduation.
As Wetland and Rochland discuss in their article addressing the college to work transition, students often hold inflated or unrealistic expectations of their future workplaces and their role as an employee. Research has shown that many graduates don't fully anticipate just how different work life it really is from university, and this lack of familiarity can result in job dissatisfaction. So I think one way to avoid this is to know someone who works within their industry who can share with you their personal experiences. I've been fortunate enough to have the opportunity to have a mentor in the commercial law industry. She's not too long ago been through the university to work transition herself, so it's been really great to have someone to bounce specific questions off of, to learn more about particular companies, and to even have advice in choosing my papers. Having a mentor has given me valuable insight and more realistic expectations for the sort of work I may be prepared for in the future. I think it's also a great alternative or addition to work experience days or summer internships, which also allow you to have insight in a more practical way.
True. I would just say, look.
That's a lot.